Welcome back, y'all. Doing a bunch of videos making up for lost time from the other week. I guess I feel guilty. Um, this is a reset deck, and I know I said I'm gonna do tier videos. I'm still making sure I know I have to build the template out, so you can go to the website, tiermaker.com, and then you can get the template, create your template. But I got to get the right images, so I'm getting everything geared up for a tier video, and then I'm gonna do a practice run to kind of make sure I can do everything correctly. Um, Once that's done, then I'll start going into tier videos. So I figured I posted a reset deck. There's been discussion on what's called Resetti, um, just an overall deck that aims to reset the game. Um, and there's just been talk about, is it easily achievable? Is it good? Does it work? Um, so there's a few ways to go. Alex Olahar is playing with pretty much warriors, a kind of royalty, and I won't give too much into his deck. I don't know if he's holding that as not. I think he's just kind of testing it out, but he's got a version with royalty. I originally was thinking this would be really good with posties, but posties get better as the game goes on. But I really like the idea of popping out that Zerubbabel and draw two, but it's like, why bother if I can just go to Matthew? I could bring in more exchange heroes for Matthew. I'm really going all in on the reset to where any one of my heroes are good off the reset. And what's better than Empty Tomb? I mean, they're very good. I made what's called 9 nails, where it's three nails in type 2. And I played Empty Tomb, and I played 4 Resurrection Revealers, Angel Appears, Spirit as a Dove, and then I was just looking to reset, and then it would force you to block from hand. So I really like that in type 2. It's a lot of fun. So with this, I was like, well, might as well do Empty Tomb because you're always going to block from hand. So I either get to take a good New Testament card from deck, and then I get to convert to negate everything. That's really good. Turn 1, take something from deck, and essentially turn 1, reset. Taking something from deck, and when I say something, it's because my dominants are New Testament, and all my enhancements are. So it's pretty much anything for me. And then negating everything. That's good. Getting CBN enhancements, and then being able to convert to band. That's nice. I like her because she has good numbers as well. So she is a 10-3 with CBN enhancements. That's actually very good. I think it's the best initiative character with CBN enhancements, to be honest. I can't think of anything else differently, but having that toughness as 3 is extremely good, and I think she's honestly just looked over. And then of course Joanna's always good. And I want all my heroes to be able to flip to convert. Martha's the only one that doesn't, but that's okay. I just need to be aware of that. So every single hero in here minus Martha, which Lazarus can convert her, but then that means Lazarus is not meek. So this is the only hero, Martha, that does not have the ability to flip to meek. That's important because we have 3 nails. I pretty much always want to have Unity Heroes meek, and between 4 horns, 40 years, and 3 nails, I'm just going to be flipping everyone, and they're getting shuffled and reset and all that. So it's nice to where I can just constantly get you to block from hand and have just really strong heroes. And then if you look at my enhancements, like Virgin Birth's nice from both a just star ability up front. It's nice to get Humble Seeker, but the other aspect is having that star ability really up front, and then having female heroes. I'm almost considering taking out Virgin Birth for just another strong enhancement, to be honest. You really want to reset, and on a reset, Virgin Birth's not going to trigger. So you really just want, like, maybe Virgin Birth comes out for Spirit as a dove or Generous Giving. And I think I'll do that before I play it. We also need another star card in here for Mary. So I need a clay star card. Everything else is either getting resources or interrupting, or you have love one another. So you're supposed to come off the reset and have strong attacks with backed up by good enhancements with strong heroes. Um, we have Endless Treasures and Overtaken, and we have Virgin Birth and Hopper. We have a 50 card deck. We're trying to get it down to where it's just quick to get out Overtaken. Overtaken with Uzza was very good. And I'm going to be honest, I just completely overlooked the fact that he says underdeck and artifact. That's insane. I can underdeck your artifact to protect my Lost Souls. And I'm a 3-2. But guess what? He gives up initiative to Mary. So Uzza's very good. Wilderness, it was just tough to kind of fit CBP on some things. And we were trying to not necessarily get the pendulum too much swinging on one side, but we were a little bit more cautious with just quote unquote slapping CBP on everything. So very few have a modifier, but they just have good abilities overall. Overtaken fixes that, and we want to go into battle with Peter. And then we have, if blocked from hand, we have a CBN here. And what was the other one? And Martha and Mary. So we have 4 heroes that trigger our own Overtaken, which is good. So we do want to trigger our Overtaken to have CBN evil characters, which is very, very, very good. I wish Overtaken said OT humans. CBN Blood Avenger, even CBN Amalekite Slave, but a CBN Uzza, Plagued Congregation, that's pretty good. But Rebellious Israelites is very good, but Abiram is insane. I have 2 curses in deck and Endless Treasures to get them out from reserve as well. Abiram may reserve an OT curse from hand or deck to protect this card from heroes and then get to banned. So that's CBN protection. Yes, it's not as good as Herod's, but you just have full on CBN protection from all heroes, and then I get to banned and do stuff. So it's good in that aspect. The Lost Souls are supposed to be able to be, if put in play or if drawn like off the reset, or just help me. So I want Thorns out to where your Lost Souls stay in play when I do a reset. So this goes all the way back to New Beginning decks to where you had Thorns out. I also want Color Guard in here. I just don't know what comes out for Color Guard. Like, I really like Dole. Getting Dole off a reset is really nice. So I'm not sure what would come out for Color Guard. I don't like having all my characters down, but we're resetting so much. And we're not trying to put a bunch of evil characters down because of 40 years. That I wasn't as worried. We're just going to have to have that hand management that I talked about last game. With 40 years, this card is just not seeing play, and it's so strong. Every time I've played it, I've had great success with 40 years. And when other people, Jeremy laughs. He's like, 40 years is so underrated. When people play 40 years and they come back and they talk to me, they're like, this card is so good. It is. Especially if you're wilderness. It's extremely flexible. And if your deck is built to recover quickly from it. So if you're not reliant on all the territory class enhancements that are a one-time use, and instead you have Pharaoh's Daughter and Wilderness of Sinai, an Aimless Lost Soul, and you could recover quickly, then you're in a really good spot with 40 years. Just because you have Pot of Mana, like the reason Pot of Mana is good because everyone's still banding other than Pot of Mana decks. So 40 years is still really good. Um, I would like to be able to stop the opponent searching like a salty lost soul down, especially because when I look at my territory class enhancements, I don't have anything. So I think salty should come in, virgin birth should come out, because I don't want you setting up off a reset. So we do need to bring salty in. That's tough. Um, ugh. We have overtaken, but I really like humble and overtaken for this defense. I feel like I need it. I hate discarding for prosperity. I feel like I never do it. Being able to get out any of my evil characters off a reset is good. And then dole off a reset is good. So it's really tough. Like, lawless is amazing. I have darkness, lawless, and aimless to where, because remember, when I play 40 years, I'm playing it as evil. My good's staying out because of Herod's Temple, because they're going to be protected. But my all my evil's going in except for one. So I'm trying to be able to get my evil back out. And I don't assume I'm going to have every single lost soul out because I'm playing 3 nails and 4 horns. So I'm going to shuffle my own lost souls. So I don't really know what to take out, but I really feel like we need salty. And I hate to say it. I think it's prosperity. But we do have lawless, aimless, and darkness, so we are getting out evil characters very easily. Maybe I keep prosperity and take out one of these cards. One of my 3 ways to my evil characters off a reset. Because I have so many evil characters. Lawless always works, and aimless always works. Darkness doesn't always. It's a opening hand or a reset, which for this it should always work. This gets out any one of my evil characters. It's very good, and taking top 6 and having soul gen. So I guess darkness is what we take out. So we're going to do a little bit of editing here, which I like doing edits, like thought process and edits while people are watching, because I've been told before, like, that helps people while you're going through your deck, of kind of saying, oh, well, these cards are kind of counterintuitive. Nombo is the other word, to where it's kind of your cards are pulling against what you're trying to achieve. So we're going to take out Virgin Birth and Darkness, and we're going to put in Salty. And then for Virgin Birth, really we just want a good enhancement that's clay. That's just strong. We could bring in resource grabbing, like I talked about with generous giving. We could bring Overcome into main deck, to be honest. Negate an evil card or discard an evil character, and that way we can just pop it back in. I think that's a better play, is Overcome in main deck. I didn't want to lose Overcome, especially in this current meta. You'll see, like, I have an Interrupt banned, negate an evil card, banish an evil card, or draw 2. Negate an evil card, interrupt, bounce, interrupt, convert. Great Commission, that's a little, you're not getting a full value. I like having a bunch of heroes out. But right now we are trying to hit all this protection that's running around, and we're trying to reset their Overtaken. So it's tough for them to keep Overtaken out. And then, of course, we have Love One Another. So now we do have that special ability. We want it to contain a star. And then it's really just whatever we want in here. There's plenty of good ones. So what works the best on Mary Holy Virgin? I love Stone Rolled Away, but you just got to get Empty Tomb out. And we're not playing that because we're constantly resetting. By the time we're getting value from Empty Tomb, it's just not worth it. Day of Judgment is sneaky good. I hate when it's used against me because you have to have special initiative. A dominant does not cover Day of Judgment. Having another negate is good, especially with if there's any curses running around, activating curses. I do like having Power of the Spirit. If I grab that from my reserve and do a reset, I have another star ability that helps me get a hero. Redemption is another star ability that really helps as well, and it's just a potential big battle winner. And Life in the Sun is awesome. It's CBP in battle, and it helps me bounce like that Lazarus or Martha, who's ever non-meek. It helps me bounce. So I don't know if there's a wrong answer here. It's more just a matter of what do I think we need. Do I think I need another just big battle winner? Do I think I need just another negate or a negate that has potential to be a big battle winner? I really like Redemption, and I really like Life in the Sun. I think we're going to go with the CBP in battle for now because it has the draw, the bounce, and the CBP. And it's a nice star ability for Resurrect and something that only has 8 heroes. So I think we're good here. So we just brought in Overcome. These are gone. We have Salty. And then we brought in another star card. And we're looking to have Strong because Mary off a reset is really good because she's a 3-1 that's going to grab 2 enhancements. Or one of 2 enhancements in my reserve. I've said before, I really like Ascension into Humble Seeker, especially in this deck. I don't want Paul in here because I just don't really have a ton of ways to bounce. Send the Helper's my only way, minus resetting and minus what I just added with Life in the Sun. So I feel like it's very consistent off a reset. Like I said, I wanted to do Posties, but I felt like Posties' best attack is Impartial Judgment. And when you're resetting, you're not going to have heroes out. You would have to have Noah's like Ark of Salvation out and have like be able to reset with protection. I think Harm is opposite alignment of opponent, so I don't even know if that works, to be honest. I just talked about Harm in one of the Discords, so gonna have to know either way. Harm is opposite alignment, I believe, and opponent. Double check. Or that's only for neutral cards. 3 Nails doesn't care. It's regardless of Protect CBP or CBN, but it's Heroes, Unity, Meek. That's the whole point of the offense. So you have to play something with heroes that are meek. The other aspect of why I picked Clay is because these are really outside of like Zerubbabel and Father Abraham, and you can see like that power creep. And GOC was kind of supposed to be the pinnacle, just because of the scripture involved and the everything, and just design, like getting used to meet cards, introducing them, and then taking it to the next step. It's not necessarily power creep. It was designed that way. But originally it was you didn't have characters that converted to do something. You could just play them as meek or you could play them as regular. It was just like the ultra rare guys that could convert to do something. David, Zerubbabel, and Father Abraham. And Father Abraham is the only one that's a may convert, I believe. That's why the protection works. And then in GOC it was you get one ability and then you can convert to get the second. So a really cool design approach. But I wanted to have an ability and then convert for my second or third ability, whatever it may be. Usually it's 2 abilities on these characters. So I wanted to convert to gain an ability because that gave me like maximum abilities with having a meek hero in battle for 3 Nails. 4 Horns, it's while 4 or more evil OT humans are in battle, so that already limits what we can do. So we have to have OT. You have to have humans. So I even have to make sure I can get 4 in here. I only have the 1 band. I don't have destroying bands in here. I don't think I can naturally get 4. 1, 2, Okay, yeah, 3, and then it doesn't matter. I can band to Blood Avenger, Played Congregation, Day Thinner Wandering. So I do have the 3 band, just making sure. May band, may band, may band. Um, Usually you start with core, so it's CBN band. So band, band, band. One more. 4 horns is active. Boom. Wall 4 or more. You can shuffle all cards and play. Um, so that's very good. To where we thought people wanted to 2-ball cane or like play delivered in battle. They want to activate this card kind of as like a battle winner, which is very good. I'm fine with just activating it. Keep it active and let my opponent play around 4 horns. Like they're scared about this. Um, 3 nails is a massive honeypot stopper. So, but you got to get to it. I understand that. Um, Between overtake and humble, and just like a pretty strong defense in general, that should work. And I still think maybe we need generous giving for just another resource generation and offense. You could play the exchange heroes to where you just flip the board, attack, boom, it's Matthew every turn. Um, Matthew's not necessarily a great attack. He's decent turn 1, but you have to play your enhancements to benefit Matthew. Most people were playing like 2 strong enhancements in their main deck. That makes your Matthew attack really weak. So if you have a lot of strong enhancements, your Matthew attack's better. If you just keep flipping their hand over, their whole deck over and over again, you're getting that turn 1 value off Matthew every single turn. I really like discarding humans, like discarding their heroes, and then flipping the battle, or flipping the game, however you want to say it, just resetting. I really like doing that. I couldn't fully get to that. Have been able to do Madness a couple times. Like if I capture them, they're going back. Like Scattered's going back. So I don't have a lot of ways to just get rid of their heroes. Like Reap the Whirlwind shuffles them all again. So I don't have as much hero removal as I want. Like I want to play a 40 Knights and discard all heroes in territory while mine are protected. I want to discard them and then reset. So there's still some things I want to incorporate that makes the reset better. If I can play like Great Image with a reset is amazing. If that's another like potential, if you can get characters in battle go into a Great Image like Edomite's Band. But if you can do a Great Image card, that's great. Especially like Charioteer's a Seer that can just play Great Image, and then you have 4 horns active, and it's like discard all their heroes, and then poof, shuffle. So you want to be able to not just reset over and over. You want to be able to capitalize on your resets and limit them from doing a lot. Everything else is pretty standard. Like it's a GOC offense. I just like an offense that can come out quickly, gain all the benefits, and go from there. I did a pause right there, so I have no clue the last thing I was saying. I'm hopping back on a project for work. This is going to be really weird when you're listening at like 23 minutes and all of a sudden it just like stops and comes back. I'm starting a project on work in 2 weeks, and I had to get my account going, so they called me during the video. How dare they? Don't know where I was. So I have 4 characters out, probably talking about 4 horns, resetting everything. Lots of resets, 3 nails, 4 horns, 40 years, it's good. 1 add to battle, no shield. Don't really have, unless I take out a character for Zelifahad and bring in shield, which is nice. I don't really have another way to get it out. It's really good when I pop shield down, if I can keep getting it, or just have it for the add to battle. It's also good if I lose a character before I play 4 horns and need that shield for the add to battle. Also have Murder's Command 2. You know me, I like the add to battles, but ultimately it's a tight build, 50 cards. 3 supports just here. We also have Overtaken, Deserving Scorn, and 2 Covenants. So I know I kind of hit them all, but that's a lot of artifacts. Especially when I don't really use either of these 2 as enhancements. I could use Deserving Scorn. Um, I can't use Overtaken. So it's a lot of slots to artifacts, which makes it a tight build. Maybe you don't need 4 horns. I think, in theory, testing, you probably just need 40 years. I think that's just enough. Be able to reset off of 40 years and just keep on trucking. I wanted Israel's Rebellion in here, but Thorns stops that. I think we're good. We can rush into a quick game. Just a quick one. It's going to be very difficult to simulate resetting. So we already have one of our resets from we can play a Meek Disciple from deck. Doesn't really hurt us, but it's only Matthew, and you don't have a way to bounce him. If we had Send the Helper in hand or a way to Send the Helper, we could. So we don't really need to do our 1-star. And then we go into Souls. We could always give them Hopper right away. Turn 1 Salty's really nice. Now we look at our Prosperity that I always talk about how difficult this is to, like, just the whole point of Prosperity, not the whole point, but the main thing of Prosperity is to get it first turn so you get those 2 extra cards. And I hate getting it first turn. Like, I'm going to attack with Joanna, although Peter turn 1 with New Covenant, I can get a 7-0 toss with Herod's Temple. That's really good. I also just like having Herod's Temple down. So I don't know. That's tough. What do I discard here? And I always have this issue. Is it Peter and I lose one of my heroes? All I have is 1 way to resurrect that I have to get in and draw, so I really have 0 ways to resurrect. Let's say I don't discard anything. Those would have been my next 3. So I would get Overtaken turn 1. And I'd have 3 woes in hand. Which is nice. So yeah, miss on Prosperity, which you should never do. You should always discard something for Prosperity. I just don't know what. Now I gotta reserve a card to hand to take a Wilderness Human from deck. That's another thing. I don't want to do this either. I have Wandering Israelites, but I do like to have the 2 banned. Like having Abraham to be able to reserve this from hand or deck is nice. If I go to reserve, it's tough. But I can do that because I have ways to get it out. So then I can take... And maybe the proper thing is I just take a Wilderness Hero and then trigger Prosperity. Or a Wilderness Human. And just take like a non-banding, like a Played Congregation. And then discard it for Prosperity. Like maybe that's something I could do. Or a Blood Avenger. I like having protection turn 1, especially when I can go Wandering to someone, or Abraham to Wandering, and then prevent the next and have protection. Whenever we were designing Brown, I didn't feel like they had strong blocks turn 1. We tweaked a couple of the characters, and it feels like they have really just strong blocks now that are still able to be interacted with. So from here, if I go first, if not, I have a really good block. Can activate New Cov and just go straight to whatever I want, essentially. It's probably best to get resources and have them negate and banish. Um, and then having just the toss the next deal enhancement played and then draw 2 is very nice. I don't have John the Fisherman in this build because I'm focusing so much on Meek, but I could play Resurrection right now and have Herod's Temple, Peter, and one of my other heroes down turn 1. I don't think we need to do that. If we get Christian martyred, we get Christian martyred. The fact that I tossed the first, I kind of want to see what they block with. And for here, you got to know, I've seen people play their negate first, even though this is an interrupt. So it doesn't matter in this sense. I like keeping a broad negate in my hand and use the interrupt first. It also depends on who's in battle. So for here, getting the toss first, and I can just bounce you is good. I like the idea of you being able to negate with this, like if you had to toss the first and play something I interrupt, because I'd rather banish an evil card than bounce you. So if you can respond to untouchable, then I can come in and I can banish an evil card. Now you would have to respond to it, and I would be banishing your enhancement, but I'm still making you do something else. So that's probably how turn 1 would go. And I do want 3 nails down. If we want, we can consider Matthew here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Simply putting down Peter means we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Putting down Peter puts us at 3. So that means Matthew's a draw 3 instead of a draw 5. And he can still convert and flip the Meek. So I think we're good there. And then we can reserve from deck to have protection. So we're looking for that overtaken. So now we're going to have to go Endless Treasures to it. Shuffle. Wandering. Draw 1. And then he can exchange. Thank you, Jeremy, for that card. And if they did anything, I could negate a good brigade. If they use a draw ability, which is really good if I can just be protected and then negate an entire good brigade. It's very, very strong. If I know my protection's pretty good, then I kind of like just going to Korra and being able to snag an enhancement from deck. Like, I don't dislike that. If I feel comfortable here with protection in a band, and then I can look at my hand, and do I want to band more? Which I can't activate a Curse from Reserve this turn. So I think I just go into Mask. Wait, that's, yeah. And have an interrupt, draw 3, shuffle with protection out. I think that's good. They would need to get around my numbers and my protection. Then I can drop the interrupt and shuffle you, and I still have CBN band protection. And then I have protection on top of it. And let's see. Oh, I do have the extra Resurrect. I forgot about Lazzy. Of course he has a Resurrect ability. From an upkeep perspective, nothing. I can bounce. Do we want to bounce? So we have a lot of options here. Peter Herod's Temple. We still have New Cove. Orson the Helper. We have Mary Joanna Band. We just have a 5-6 negate evil cards. And we have a 3-1 take Life in the Sun. A lot of strong options. We could also send the Helper and also get cards as well. I think we'll keep Send the Helper in our hand for now, just in case we need it as a battle winner. I don't like using Resurrection in a reset deck early. I like having it on that after a reset. So I think, and we can look at Reserve and see if we want to take anything with New Cove before we activate it. I think we go to deck. We could take Love One Another or Ascension. I like going Mary to Joanna. Depends. If they don't have anything down, I probably go Send the Helper, bounce Joanna, and go Mary to Joanna. And then I have CBN enhancements, toss the next. Is probably what I do. But that's okay. It all depends on what the board state is. Also, we don't even have to do Ascension because we do have Resurrection. Like I could attack with Lazzy and have pre-block Resurrection and band in a bunch of stuff too. So Lazarus with Resurrection could band in 1, 2, 3. So it really just depends on what is down and what you want to play. We can go into Herod's Temple if we want. There's just a lot of attacks here, which is good. Just play Temple. And kind of give up initiative because we know we can reveal top. And then, depending on what's out there, you don't have to exchange Humble Seeker. He can protect Meek Heroes and Lost Souls. Like, that's really good. And we can bring him in. We can get Matthew out, even though they're going to be Meek. It's still a way to bring in another hero that's protected. Same with Martha. Kind of whoever we want. We need a bounce all, don't we? Didn't know we would have this much going this early. Since we have protection, we could bring in Joanna. I don't think we need that. I think that would have been our ban, Humble Seeker and these two, and then Humble Seeker activates. And she would come into Meek, and then reserve something in the territory, take a star card from reserve. We don't have to Meekify her right now if we don't want to. And then we can get the draw one. Probably good enough for a rescue. We still have resources in our hand. And this is a different type of offense. I know Josh Portrait was just talking about if anyone's playing GOC offenses that are different. And this is one that's different. Definitely different, but also using the Empty Tomb Girls is really good. Now with 3 nails, it can be tough with board advantage, which is nice because we have 4 horns and 40 ears. So if we need to, we can do a reset before 3 nails. This is preventing enhancements. This is CBP in battle. So I think the only thing I do is put down Send the Helper and pass turn. We put this up here. We would have to get another block here. And it's nice because CBN banned. We don't have any other curses. in hand or deck, we reserve 2. So we have Deserving Scorn, right? Yeah, and Overtaken. So we can't use Abraham, but we can force them to discard a good card from hand, and if they don't, we can activate. Anytime you're getting additional value is good. Now we can go straight into Overtaken and kind of surprise them there. But I pretty much always go to Madness and reserve to reserve. And then I also have Dathan, just assuming if they had more than one hero in battle. And here I feel comfortable getting a negate. I don't really have much to band into with Kor's Rebellion, so my only option would be go into captivity. And I still have the add to battle. So preventing the next, making them play something, and then having the negate a good card, and then capture a character. We don't see a ton of these, negate something and then do something else to a character. Usually it's negate or negate and. So this is just a really solid card. So we can negate what they played and then capture them. We don't have anything else after that, so we would have to add to battle if needed, but we would make them waste a lot of resources just with this band. Now here's the thing. If they AOC you pre-block, or if they just get rid of your evil characters, you don't have 4 horns. So from here, if they start having board advantage, we almost just want to reset. And that's kind of the whole point of the deck, right? So I think we flip over Nails, and we can go in with Holy Virgin. Negate and reserve an evil or neutral card in their territory, which is really good before a reset. We've been able to do that twice. So we want to reserve their evil characters in territory. Take AOC, flipper, and while they have board advantage. So we're assuming they have board advantage at this point. We're not really putting down a ton. But we might not have board advantage. And if we don't, we'd probably go straight into a 4 horns and just show them our 4 horns, knowing we're going to flip. And then we could banish this card. And then go right into a full-on reset. And now we'll see. It's all cards. We'll see what we get off a reset. That looks really good to me. Assuming they have, that's why we like Lawless and Hopper in here. I didn't have Thorns out, so their Lost Souls would be shuffled. But assuming they drew into a Lost Soul, and maybe we have some more Soul Gen in here, we have a pretty strong rescue turn 1. And then we come right back out. What we're trying to do is we are trying to hit that confusion on them. So maybe Persian Horseman comes in here, and we just hit the confusion and get a reset. And you banish their Son of God and just keep going. Do have a lot of resources to use. We can make it a toss battle. We can negate. You get to negate and draw 2. So there's 2 abilities. And then you can take a clay card from reserve or banish. From here we would just more than likely just banish them if we needed to, because we don't have anything here. But we could take a clay card from reserve and just Angel Lord if there's 2 characters in battle, whatever it might be. We could always negate what they played and Angel Lord. From here we're sitting good. We don't have a curse back in deck, so we don't have a Baram to trigger, which kind of sucks. But we can go right back to Rebellious Israelites. And that is a beefy block on a reset. Rebellious to Madness. Make them do something to... That is very hard to negate a neutral card. And then we still get the band. So even if the hero's gone, we still get the band. And we can take... We can take from... I was just trying to see if I wanted Overtaken or not. But we can take a card from reserve. Resurrect's not doing anything. That's what I was saying, where I like Resurrection here. And if they had another hero out at the end of their turn, I'm just going to activate that and pop their hero if they put something else down. We have a big band. So we can go in with Peter, and we could probably just go straight into a Resurrection, because more than likely they would have to block from hand here. So we get an empty Tomb hero out. So which one do we want? It sucks we didn't have one of the three in our hands. So we either get CBN enhancements, take a good NT card from deck, plus negate all, or toss the first, draw two. So we can play an into Tomb hero and then band up to 3 NT. 1, 2, wrong one. 1, 2, 3. Once again, if they have anything in territory, we can pop. So this is all pre-block. If they put anything down, Mary's hitting it again. Mary's an absolute beast. If they block from hand, it's a toss. And then I'm going to draw 2. Martha, they have to reserve an evil card from hand. Band to Lazzy. You may convert Bethany hero to negate evil cards. And then I can draw 2. And then Mary, I can get rid of a card. I don't need Meek anymore. I already used 3 nails. So since I already have enough clay in battle, I don't need to flip her, and I can keep using her ability. So from here, they would have to answer negate evil cards, down 2 resources, and toss in the first. I'm just going to be honest, I don't think they're getting through that. And that's been 1 turn since a reset. We don't have Salty out, so what we can do is kind of see which one we want to bounce, right? So we can draw X, which is your meat clay. We'd bounce first, so we'd only get a draw 2, but we can put down another to get a draw 3 if we want to. I want to bounce Martha and get a draw 2. Now we're ready for 40 years too. Remember, it underdecks things that are out. So I don't need to put down my characters unless they're protected. So if I know I'm going to do an underdeck here, I'd probably play Son of God, get down to 9. And then, since I have my protection, and they know I have Martha, I want to keep Martha in hand. Put down Mary. Pass turn. Now if I block, I want to do something to them. And then 40 years. So I'm probably just going to go straight to Rebellious to activate reserve to reserve, prevent, take the next, or take one, prevent the next. Depending on what they have to do with these characters, I want to go to a 40 years when I only have one character down and only one artifact. I want to immediately put them in another bad situation. So each player may protect a hero and an evil character. So I will protect my Dathan, unless I needed the numbers. And then underdeck all characters and all artifacts. I played this as evil, so they're protected from harm. So this goes to the bottom. So it'd be more than likely all their characters gone. Because remember, I'm constantly getting rid of protection if I'm 3 nailing and then resetting the game. Get rid of protection, and then you just play 40 years. So their characters are gone. They have one of everything, and I have this onslaught of heroes. I feel good. If they have anything else, the fact that I have the negate and activate, go back to reserve, that's very hard to stop, especially when there's only one hero in battle. I don't need to do AOC. I feel good about my hand. So, no upkeep. And you can see, like, this has been a lot of turns, and I get it. It's just me simulating things. But the fact that I'm resetting, even though there's shuffling involved, the fact that I'm resetting and have Salty down early on, and I reset again and you're limiting from resources, you're going to get more turns. And if your deck's built for it, you should be in the driver's seat. So then from here, they're only going to have one evil character out. So Mary Holy Virgin becomes an absolute boss. They would have to have evil characters in hand, and they'd have to have a Christian Martyr, or more than likely they're not going to have a bunch of ways to band, and I have Angel Lord. So it's a matter of, do I want to attack with Mary and just reserve all they have? And yeah, 20 shekels could be good here, but you're also putting down their characters for Mary, and then you also want them to block from hand. So I could go Martha to Lazzy with Angel and draw 2, or I could go CBN enhancements, which I don't really want to do that, or I can just go Mary and reserve, presumably the only thing they have with an Angel Lord in my hand. I am susceptible to Christian Martyr right here, and I feel like a Martha to Lazarus is a very good attack. Negate evil cards, reserve an evil card from their hand, Angel Lord. I think Christian Martyr needs to be in here. Don't know, with 40 years is taking a slot. It's just tough, like what comes out for that, you know? Like, is it Murderous Command, which I hate to do? I don't know. I like having 3 woes because I can play it, use it in territory, flip it back to my deck. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, after that, we just keep going into the same thing. I do think this deck is viable. This probably isn't the best build for it, but it's supposed to have very strong attacks after a reset, which that's tough for you to deal with. And then when I go into strong blocks, it's also tough for you to deal with. As soon as my reserve access opens up and I'm getting out these characters, you have to constantly deal with this guy to this guy. That's brutal. And I'm going to reset the game, and chances are you're not getting banding chains going, your heroes, and even if you get a banding enhancement, you don't have the heroes out. it's just very difficult for the opponent to play against constant resets when you're built for it. I think these style of decks are really fun. Um, they've done really well in the past, but that was like new beginning. We haven't seen Resetti played successfully, in my opinion. And I think with 40 years and four horns, you have enough way and wilderness defense, you have enough ways to reset the board constantly, and you're in control. Even though it's luck based because you're resetting the game. You're trying to keep souls out, and maybe you have more ways to lost souls, um, but you're trying to keep lost souls out. Maybe Zacchaeus and Amazing Faith come in here, and you just wait on that. I don't know, but I think there's some other cards to look at um, that are worth it, like Noah. Um, an amazing, like I really like Amazing Faith in this, but it's just tough to not have that color, and you want characters that flip to Meek, like Noah. Especially when you're putting down very few things and then you flip it. Like if you can get 3 nails first and then have 40 years, you're golden. So uh, I'm hoping some people will try this deck out at tournaments. I plan on using it. I just got to get to some tournaments, so that's been on me. But I do plan on using this to actually have some better, like tangible results that I can provide to people. But I think it's really fun, and it can take away a lot of the if people are better deck builders or deck matchups. 3 nails against Honeypot, that's gone. 40 years against not necessarily Nazi, but all their characters are gone, and Nazi's out to where their characters are underdecked and decks are protected. And remember, you only lost a couple evil characters, and they lost everything, and they have Nazi out. So it's actually very good against Nazi, and it's very good against Honeypot. Um, Even the Daniel deck. The Daniel deck uses territory class enhancements to get going. If you have Salty out, or you play 40 years after they use territory class enhancements, that's all gone. I think a couple more ways to play a Lost Soul would be better, so I'll look at Soul Surfer and kind of see if there's any other cards that I can bring in instead. And there's Lost Souls, like I could play with the Lost Souls at exchange and play, so I can do that. But yeah, it's a more advanced build because you're resetting, but I do think it has a weird spot in the meta to be very competitive. So I did want to show it and kind of talk about it. Longer video than I expected, but like I said, I'm going to start doing tier videos, so this was a impromptu video before I started that. So I hope you all enjoyed, and this deck list, at least, the 2 card difference is on Discord, so it's on there for y'all, and hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks, y'all.